This poem was commissioned by the Poetry's Commemoration project. Blood pulled my shoe off. The birth of the Freestate, in the words of Máire Comerford, for Roy Foster. If bucked by your pony, make no fuss. Get up again and again, no matter how hurt. Water and feed your pony before you eat yourself. When there was an occasion for tears, I held them until I got to a warm, dark stable where I could be nuzzled by a soft nose. My bicycle opened Ireland to me. Our bicycles were the fastest things. I wanted to visit the place where Shane O'Neill's head was spiked on the castle gate. I went up alone to spend Easter with Maud. The following day, I boarded the tram to Blackrock. 3 hours later, I was in the middle of the rising. Sometimes there was no steady walking. When the crowd ran, I ran with it. Next morning in Harcourt Street, blood pulled my shoe off. Keen to see if the tricolour was still flying, I'd not noticed the big red pool until my foot was held in it. Get up again. I saw a big hand across the people coming to swoop. I made a dive, started to run, half spancelled by a foolish, fashionable tight skirt. A milk car drove beside. I grabbed his dashboard. He whipped up his pony, my legs barely able to keep my feet on the ground. Mother was pretending to be Michael Collins's aunt, and that distracted me. Mother was distressed because he was a bad feeder, hardly slept at all. She made up 2 beds for him. Both would be tossed in the morning, and Mother had her own troubles. Another raid at night, uniformed auxiliaries. I opened the door in my nightgown, pushed backwards by the leader until my head hurt, pressed hard against the wall. He forced his revolver into my mouth full of steel. You're the bad one of the family, he said. Get up again. Collins said, we will work it out eventually, just like South Africa. A stone rolled slowly at my heels in Irish Street in Enniscorthy, and to hell with the Republic, shouted a group of budding Free Staters, very young ones. Get up again. I slipped away on my bike to the forecourts. We were all too young. Our belts were closed and our coats still buttoned as night fell. George Plunkett came over several times to tuck a coat, his own, around my legs. Countess Markovich was positioned for sniping in her usual state, rifle poised. I admit to being somewhat repelled. I gave Con a meal and left. I would not have liked to have been lying on a roof trying to kill someone, but this seemed to be what they were at. The Freestate officer arranged the soldier's rifle so it was pointed at the middle of my back. Make no fuss. After the defeat, I was sent with a message for Eamon de Valera, all over the county, going from place to place looking for him. August 22nd, I delivered a dispatch at dusk to a pasture field, County Cork. Gorse encroaching from hedges. More IRA men in arms than in the forecourts. Did you know that Michael Collins was killed on that road last night? I did not know anything in recent history in Collins' favour because death had been busy. No messages from any grave shouted stop. I went on my way without joy or sorrow. Make no fuss. The North Dublin Union was a great barracks. The Free State didn't know how to make a barbed wire entanglement. Rigid barbed wire stretched down the poles, a kind of ladder for us. No way could I climb this wall to freedom without all this barbed wire to help me. My city comrades were reluctant, but I was country bred. When we were children, if you couldn't climb a fence, someone threw your hat across. If you didn't come home with your hat, there would be hell to pay. Get up again. I only remained free for a month. In Nassau Street I was spotted. Might have been my slouching country walk. Taken to Kilmainham. Hunger strike once more. I would not eat until I was released, I said. After 27 days, I was carried out on a stretcher by 4 soldiers. When you are down, and it's extraordinarily difficult to rise again. I was in poor form, living on a hill in County Wexford, endeavouring to run my own poultry farm. It was tight. What helped me survive? I belonged to people who were able to run up bills. This past association was very useful to me. For years, I knew little about passing events. Unable to afford a newspaper, I had a motorbike. Whenever I could scrape 15 shillings together, I would drive from Gorey to Dublin. When there was an occasion for tears, I held them until I got to a warm, dark stable where I could be nuzzled by a soft nose.